in a pivotal vote that is expected to restore political stability in the troubled South Asian country, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, led by late Khalida Zia's son Tariq Rahman, crossed the halfway mark to win the parliamentary election. Supporters of the Bangladesh Nationalist Parties celebrated as showed by the local media heading towards the landmark parliamentary election. BNP coalition won 212 seats in a landslide victory in Bangladesh. Jamaat-e-Islami emerged as the main opposition, securing 70 seats. Youth Party NCP won just 5 of 30 seats that it contested. Shafiqur Rahman, chief of the Jamaat-e-Islami, won Dhaka 15 in the capital, securing 85,131 votes, defeating his nearest BNP rival who received 63,517 votes. More than 2,000 candidates, including many independents, were on the ballot and at least 50 parties contested seats. With this victory, Tariq Rahman is all set to become Bangladesh's next Prime Minister, bringing an end to the 18-month interim government led by Muhammad Yunus. And upbeat Yunus, a Nobel laureate, said that the election day was a day of great joy. Tariq Rahman returned to the country from exile after nearly 17 years following his mother's death and quickly emerged as a frontrunner for the Prime Minister's post in the absence of the Awami League. This is the first election held in the country since student-led protests in 2024, ending the 15-year rule of Sheikh Hasina. Hasina's party, the Awami League, was banned from contesting this election. Now, these elections saw the country looking to move beyond the decade-long battle of Begum's era. The actual presence of women in competitive politics remains strikingly low. As per Election Commission data, only 109, which is about 4.2%, were women, and 30 of the 51 registered parties had no female candidates at all. Sheikh Hasina called the recent election voterless and illegal and demanded a full cancellation. Hasina had earlier called elections a well-planned farce and demanded holding of free, fair and inclusive elections under a neutral caretaker government. I'm being joined by News 9 Managing Editor Kartikeya Sharma and Foreign Affairs and Geopolitical expert Purnima Nath as well. Well, Kartikeya, the so-called Dark Prince of Bangladesh is now back after exile and now he's all set to take charge of the country.
Thank you. Good morning, Nancy, and thank you for inviting me to the morning show. And I would also like to say thank you to Purnima Nath, Foreign Affairs and Geopolitical expert, who would be with us for for joining us on such a short notice. Just let me take our viewers through the lay of the land. You see what has happened in Bangladesh. If I say what is the lay of the land is, that Bangladesh has 300-seat parliament, and in this 300-seat parliament, right now, the BNP is leading in 200 plus seats. Now, when I say they're leading in 200 plus seats, it also means that there are 100 seats in which other political parties are there. Now, in those 100 seats, you have Jamaat-e-Islami, which is leading in more than 60 seats. Now, important thing here to note is that Jamaat-e-Islami is part and parcel of the larger rubric of conservative Islamic parties of Bangladesh. So that means that the BNP, sort of a mainstream party, has been given a mandate, and not Jamaat-e-Islami. That's number one. Jamaat-e-Islami, as per the data which I can access now, was also having an arrangement with the National Citizens Party. Now, National Citizens Party had spearheaded this coup in Bangladesh. And I don't use the word uprising, Nancy. I'm not using the word uprising. I'm using the word coup. And the reason why, Nancy, I'm using the word coup is because what happened during Bangladesh was incorrect. You have actually ensured by the so-called power of the street that one popular party is not allowed to contest elections, which is incorrect. That is why I'm using the word coup. Now, important thing here to note is that Jamaat is going on to become the principal opposition party in Bangladesh. It also means that the other political parties, other players will not have that say. Now, it opens up the question, it opens up the question, Nancy, that what happens to Muhammad Yunus? It also opens up the question that what happens to, say, for example, other political players, like there's an Islami Andolan party. What happens to them? That also is something which is very, very important. And then the larger story which plays out, Nancy, is that in why are we so vested in Bangladesh? We are vested in Bangladesh, one, because it was the 1971 liberation war which created a new identity, or gave space to an identity which was being subsumed by a larger Islamic identity pushed by Pakistan, because the idea of nationalism is not vested in religion. The idea of nationalism, as we practice in India, is very plural, is multicultural, it's multi-ethnic. And what is happening in Bangladesh right now is something very, very, I would say, unilinear in nature. So I think it's a sense, I would say it's a relief that we have, BNP to deal with. Imagine India had to deal with someone like Jamaat-e-Islami, and I'm not saying that Jamaat-e-Islami or BNP would have been radically different. Even BNP 80 years ago, oh sorry, 20, 25 years ago, was pretty radical when compared with Sheikh Hasina's party. But then, is this election will it be acceptable to India? Our foreign office has not clarified what sort of, response would be there. India has always maintained that we respect the sentiments of people of Bangladesh, but what about the persecution of Hindus there? These are, Nancy, a lot of questions that need to be answered. But I think there would be some sign of relief, I would say, Nancy, because BNP has come to power. The sort of I would say hard diplomacy we had to do with Taliban in Afghanistan, I don't think we have to do in Bangladesh right now. But then the larger issue is that in the interregnum that has taken place between Sheikh Hasina's ouster and Muhammad Yunus's regime, Bangladesh has inched close to both China and Pakistan. That has become really problematic, Nancy.
Well, Kartike, it's also important to note that, as you correctly pointed out, that India has always shown willingness to deal with BNP rather than to being dealing with Jamaat-e-Islami. We've sent Jaishankar to Khalida Zia's funeral, as in we have shown that we are open to a new phase of relations with BNP, and we can work towards forward with them. But there are also some points that needs to be ironed out, because what now it means for India and Bangladesh ties.
What does it mean for India and Bangladesh ties, Nancy? I would say, uh, one, India will have a relationship with Bangladesh.
Right.
There is no doubt about it. A political party has taken over Bangladesh. Bangladesh has not changed. India is invested in Bangladesh. One. Second thing, Bangladesh is important to us because Bangladeshi identity also rests on Bengali identity. We also have Bengalis living in this country, and Bangladesh, and the first partition, this colonization, or I would say division of identities, Bengali identity was done by the British, Nancy,
Right.
in 1905, when East Bangladesh and the West, East Bengal and the West Bengal was created on Hindu-Muslim identity. So the British created two identities out of the Bengali identity. And I think the 1971 was winner of the Bengali identity. But we have to understand that certain seeds and trends are very durable. For example, even the senior leadership of Awami League, and history bears testimony to it, had its nourishment in the Muslim League politics of pre-partitioned India. Even Mujibur Rahman, the father of Bangladesh, uh, was part of Muslim League. He was not part of the Congress party. He was
Right.
not part of any other political arrangement. And there are accounts that his version of the direct action day, which led to the killing a lot of thousands and thousands of Hindus in Bangladesh. Mujibur Rahman had a very distinct view on it. Now, keeping that aside, because I'm again and again bringing this point, is that, in India we are saying that how come there is rise of fanaticism in Bangladesh, because there are historical roots to
Right.
this issue. But I think looking forward, I would say that now you have someone you can deal with. But when you use the word Dark Prince Tariq Rahman, it was used in a very derogatory way, because people would say that all the deals were cut by Tariq Rahman. It was like something which was used for Zardari, Mr. 10%, when Mr. Zardari's wife, Benazir Bhutto, was Prime Minister of Pakistan. So the Dark Prince was a word coined when Khaleda Zia was the Prime Minister of Bangladesh. But the real problem is, two important women, their careers have come to an end in Bangladesh. One is in exile, and another has passed away.
Yeah.
And you have this gentleman who has come to Bangladesh after 17 years of exile. I don't know how much of administrative heft he will have in running Bangladesh, but there will be challenges, and those challenges would be structural. Will he be able to deal with China? Will he be able to deal with Pakistan? Will he be able to reverse those decisions which the government of Bangladesh has already taken vis-a-vis Pakistan? These are the questions which India will be interested in. But right now, India will congratulate Bangladesh for holding elections so that the people's mandate is there. But even this election is not a complete election, because you have debarred a political party. Awami League has
Right.
not been allowed to contest the election. That's number one. And secondly, what happens to Muhammad Yunus? Muhammad Yunus has allowed extremist forces to, gain some space. But the relief is neither Jamaat